And we're back. Rock and roll. Spawning in the bottom left-hand side of Juggernaut LE in the red. It's our Protoss player. His name is Babylon. And his opponent in the top right-hand side in the light blue from playing as Zerg. He is Heart. Great player names here. Babylon and Heart. Absolutely love to see players in the lower leagues who are not trying to be like XXX Dr. Ripsaw 360 XLXD69 lol. Because you do see a fair amount of that, especially in the lower leagues. Very cool. Heart and Babylon. Nice, simple names. Nice players. So, remember, this is, of course, the Platinum Heroes Tournament. All the play you're going to see today is Platinum level or below. So, we're not going to call this the same way we would a GSL style, top DreamHack style game. We're going to go out of our way to focus on the things these players are doing really well, the things that make them unique, and the things that make these exceptionally, fundamentally strong StarCraft 2 games. So don't expect top-level analysis, don't expect don't expect a prognostication about what the players may be up to, or oh, they're doing this build, so they're probably going to go for X. Don't fall into the trap of assuming that every single StarCraft 2 game ever cast is going to follow a predictable rhythm. Yes, at the higher levels of play, we do see clockwork, Swiss watch style games where the players know exactly what's happening. Here in Platinum Heroes, I expect some shenanigans, some uncertainty, and a lot of confusion. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So far, though, of course, pretty normal openers from both players. Heart going hatch gas pool, only a little bit behind on the queen production there. His 2 queens going to pop out in fairly decent time. And really not a bad timing at all from Heart, who I believe started Ling speed very quickly here before those queens were out. On the other side of the map, Babylon, of course, with the next expand, going for a Robo Burst opener. Now, Robo as your first tier 2 tech is an interesting choice. You would think that most players at these levels might be going for something like Blink Stalkers or Immortal builds. Nope, let's start over. Blink Stalkers or Glaved Adept builds. Even that Void Ray play, very popular for low-level players. Not a lot of micro involved, just a good solid timing where if you can learn what you need to do, you'll be able to... if you can learn what you need to do, you'll be able to weather any storm. As it is, though, our Zerg player not putting up a storm just yet. Third base down fairly nicely for Heart here. Going to finish up around the 4:15 mark. Not too bad at all. Overlord sneaks in for Heart. Great Overlord timing. Sending it in about the 3.5 minute mark. Sees the Robo first. No additional tech, by the way, out of Babylon. Doing a good job keeping his gas bank fairly low, despite getting his gas a little bit earlier than you might have thought this game. Robo into Twilight Council. So we will see some tech pretty soon here for Babylon. Good scouting Phoenix early. It's going to be on what his opponent's up to. Back over for the Zerg player. This Phoenix is going to uncover a lot of tech coming out. Roach Warren on the way. Baneling Nest on the way. And, as the Phoenix will soon show us, Lair Tech on the way from Heart. A little bit slow on the Phoenix there. The Queen and Spore Crawler will take it out, but he will get a good bead on the timing of the Lair Tech. Now, let's take a look at the gas count again. In a professional game, on a standard build order, you would suspect that 3 gases is going to lead you to speed roaches. Normally, though, if you're going for a speed roach build, you want your Roach Warren and your Lair Tech to finish up at about the same time, so that you can immediately start researching speed, and you haven't invested too early in the Roach Tech. As it is, Heart's Roach Warren down very early, and the Roach count only at 3. He might be pushing across the map with a few roaches. It looks like he's just going to use those defensively for now. Double Evo Chamber down for Heart, showing that he does want to push this into a bit of a longer game. However, Babylon seems to be going for a bit of an earlier push than his Zerg opponent. We already see a Robo Bay down, which could either mean Colossi or Disruptor, both of which would be plausible options here at about the 5.5 minute mark of the game. As the Robo comes down, the Observer will finish up very shortly here, and let's see what Babylon's got in mind as this Robo continues to churn out more and more units. I expect Colossus, but again, Disruptor, not the worst choice in the world here at about the 5.5 minute mark. Very early Robo Bay. No Warp Prism out yet for Babylon. So as soon as he realizes that Robo's finished up, he can get that Colossus out. Come on, Babylon. Double Robo. Forge. And another Observer. All right, okay. He's getting there. Have patience. Take heart. We'll see some of those tier 3 units very soon. I promise. Fourth base, meanwhile, down for Hart. As we said, our Zerg player not looking like he's going to put up a big early 6-7 minute push here. I think he's just sitting back for a while, defending with these Roaches, with these Lings, waiting for speed, Baneling Nest, and even this +1/+1 to finish up. Now, an interesting location here for a proxy hatchery. A very interesting location for a proxy hatch, or for a macro hatchery, rather. Normally, of course, for a Zerg player, you see the macro hatch right up here in the main. That's one of those common ways to place your macro hatch, because, of course, it allows your queen to be right next to both of them, so that you can double inject or get 2 queens to double inject, and it's less likely to get taken down. As it is, very interesting placements here from Hart for his macro hatchery. We'll see if that pays off in spades for him. Later in the game, he seems to be struggling a bit, keeping his larva count high. 4 larva, and of course, if you're going Ling, Bane, Roach, you need tons of larva. Babylon, going for Colossus, finally. Colossus number 1 out, Colossus number 2 on the way. Baneling count for our Zerg player, by the way, is at 0. Keep an eye on that Baneling count, guys, and see if there are any Banelings being produced in the production tab. Banelings are going to be very, very important, as a lot of the army for Babylon won't have too much mobility. Blink Stalker will finish up soon, but the Sentries, the Immortal, and the Colossus, of course, going to be difficult to escape from the threat of rolling Banelings. Good scout here on the Phoenix, sees the macro hatch, sees the Evo chambers that have finished up, and wow, Hart immediately starting +2/+2. There's the infestation pit. I do wonder if we're going to see a transition into Spire, into Hive, into to sort of a Ling Bane, or even maybe a Broodlord Ravager build. 8 Banes on the way now. Colossus number 3. Pop it out for Babylon, who's defending his third base right now. The income for these players, fairly even. Hart a little bit ahead, as to be expected with a Zerg player. About 500 minerals ahead, 1 extra base, and 20 extra workers. The macro so far pretty solid here from both players. Infestation's pitch finished up. Will that be Hive right away for Hart? He's certainly got the scratch for it, just needs to save up a bit more gas. And once he does, we'll see what happens. Gonna spend a fair amount of those minerals on Overlords. Not a bad shout from Hart right now. Who looks like he wants to get up to that 200 supply before moving out. So far, if we take a look at the units lost tab, you'll see it's been a fairly passive game as we reach the 9 minute mark so far. Neither player indicating they want to be super aggressive. Phoenix into the natural, but well, 1 queen working on it. There we go. There we go. He's going to go down. And the Overlord will stay alive. Of course, no damage caused by that hallucinated Phoenix. We got the Nexus coming down now for Babylon at the 6 o'clock position. And 2 more Colossi. That's going to be a total of 6 Colossus out here. Extended Thermal Lance, a little bit late from Babylon. Maybe a forgetful addition there. Just remembering that, oh, right, if I'm going 6 Colossi, I better upgrade the Lances. Everybody wants to have their thermal lance extended, especially in these trying times of isolation and staying at home. Wow, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hatches on the table. Hatches that mark the difference between a platinum player and a bum. That's bum with a capital B, and that rhymes with Z, and that stands for Zerg. Now, I know all you folks are the right kind of Protoss. I'm going to be perfectly frank. You know what kind of composition goes on when you're fighting against Roach Rav? I'm talking about Colossi. I'm talking about Stalkers. I'm talking about Sentry Force Fields for days and days. And bragging all about how you're going to murder up some Banelings with some beautiful Force Field donuts. One fine day, Zerg going to attack the south side of the base. We're rolling in Banelings. All right, I can't keep it up. 20 more Banelings on the way here. 23, going to be a total of 43 Banelings out soon. This 4th base for Babylon under a lot of pressure. Of course, Babylon in the wrong space, trying to defend his third base rather than his fourth base location. He could be in some trouble here. These Banelings can catch him completely by surprise. The observer's sadly not out on the field to see this. And whoa, never mind. Hart's not going to go for that fourth base. He's going to go straight on in. We got a Warp Prism loading up one Colossi here, ready to micro if need be. Babylon has not seen this army yet, completely, figuratively and literally, in the dark. And here we go. Too little and too late. Lings streaming into the natural. Ling's gonna go, Probe's gonna go down right away here, and Hart a little bit, Babylon a little bit slow to respond. Baneling's into the third base, getting some big shots off as well. The economy for Babylon completely destroyed, but I will say his army comp looks pretty good. Banelings, though, as we said, crashing into those units with very little mobility. All the Banelings gone, though, the Ravagers forced away. Babylon will hold, his economy will not. Let's see if Hart has the gumption, has the guts, has the drive to fight this army, or if Babylon's going to move out right away and try and roll over Hart after this failed attack from our Zerg player. Income strongly favoring one player. Army supply strongly favoring the other. Can you see where all those Banelings ran into the Stalkers? I know I can. Anyway, army supply is evened up immediately as Hart cranks out more Roach, more Ravager. Ultras now on the way as Hart working on Carapace, working on Ling adrenal glands. That's going to finish up soon, and it does look very, very terrifying. Oh boy, oh boy. By the way, I do have my overlay is not on right now, so if you do follow the stream or something, you won't get a little notification. I'm sorry if that makes you feel less special. Of course, not my intent. Just want to make sure that we focus on the games today for Platinum Heroes rather than the caster. These brave players coming up from the lower leagues to try and fight. Always worth our full and undivided attention here. Alright, Warp Prism going to try and micro Babylon's way out of this, unfortunately, with a really nice counter pressure, or a really nice surround from the backside. The Baneling's going to clean up all those Colossi. The Warp Prism goes down immediately, and even that last Immortal is going to get crushed. There's some counter pressure here as the Zealots are at the 12 o'clock, but I don't think that's enough. Babylon had one shot. His Zealots were ready, eyes wide. No, I messed it up. Sorry, he had one shot. His army was ready, eyes wide. Zealots were sweaty. Unfortunately, the Zealots gonna get this base, but not gonna be quite enough to fight against the impeccable impeccable Ultralisk placement. Ultralisk coming through here. Colossi trying to micro back. Link should be able to get on top of him here. They're gonna try and get what they can done, but there's plenty of army out here for our Zerg player Hart, who looks like he will crush through, building on his economic advantage from the previous game. The DT Warp-ins here from Babylon could keep the game going a little bit too long. There's no Overseer, of course. So DTs will get some damage done, but honestly, there's just no army supply here. Ultras doing what they can. First Colossus goes down. Ling's getting on top of the second Colossus. Tons of Ultras, tons of Ravagers, and this game all but over now for our Protoss player. Now, he may stay in the game for a while, or he may have really, really good game sense. GG, ladies and gentlemen. Hart gonna grab game number 1. Excellent. Let's go. Spawning in the top left-hand side, in the red, it is our Protoss player currently down one game in this best of 3, facing elimination. He is Babylon. And on the bottom right-hand side, in the blue, our Zerg player leading 1-0. It is Hart. And some questions from chat. Look, I'm on a 2-minute delay, so I'm sure these questions will be answered before you hear me. But El Staso says, I'm the best caster I've ever seen. Thank you, El Staso. I wish that were the case. The StarCraft community, of course, full of very talented commentators, color commentators, analysts, and match casters. So I appreciate you saying those kind words. And then Counterfeit Penny asks, are these going to be live matches or replays? Penny, and I'm going to assume, of course, that you're a counterfeit version of Penny, the wife character from Stardew Valley, and not someone who is foolish enough to make a fake copy of an American Penny. That'd be ridiculous. Are these live matches or replays? They are live. They're being played right before your very eyes. Just 2 minutes delay. So obviously the matches are happening live right now, but by the time you hear this voice, they'll have been happening 2 minutes ago. So the only person who knows what's going on in advance are Babylon, Heart, and myself. And of course, we're not going to tell. Little hatch gas pool out for Heart. Pardon me one moment. Thanks. Little hatch gas pool action out for Heart. Looks like he's going for another economic style build here. And Babylon, Cybercore, Nexus, and getting that second gas very early. Sometimes you'll grab that second gas at 21 workers. Heart getting it a little bit before then. So maybe he's got something planned to go for. Maybe an early tier 2 tech or something. Nope, just going to drop that second gateway down, finish off the wall, and head on back home. Now, Babylon has a forward pylon out of the map, but of course the probe has abandoned the forward pylon. The Overlord has spotted it, so not going to be able to proxy anything sneakily there. We'll see if he wants to do a proxy still, but it looks like no. He's just going to send this adept across the map. Try and get some sort of vision on what's going on. Ling checking for proxy bases, proxy tech, anything out here. Very smart move by Heart to sort of move around the map and make sure he's not going to get bamboozled, heckin' tricked by anything at all. Of course, Heart's not been able to get up into the main base this time of Babylon. In fact, hasn't even tried to get up into the main base, hasn't even spotted his natural yet. So rather than actually scouting Babylon, Heart is just going around the map and making sure he's not being proxied elsewhere. The adept from Babylon kind of being patient here. Going to maybe wait and see if there's like a fourth base, I guess. Nah, he'll try and sneak in. 2 Lings out front for Heart and the Queen. Should be able to stop this adept from getting too much done. You have to take a little bit of damage here, but starts to shade nice and early, which means it will get up to the main base. There's, of course, a Queen here to drive it away. Adept wastes 1 shot on a transferring drone. Second shot on a drone. Will get 1 kill there. Maybe a second kill before he goes down. Not quite. Just finishing up that first shot on the drone. So this little drone saved by the little hairs on his drone chin. Bless his heart. Baneling Nest coming down for Heart now as gases 2 and 3 getting dropped fairly early. And the third base about to finish up. Now, 3 gases and a third base indicate that Heart could be looking at a lair tech sometime soon. Babylon. Going for Robo first again. Robo Bay this time second. So last game, we saw Robo, Twilight, and then Robo Bay. This game, very early Robo Bay. An interesting choice considering there are, of course, these 4 gateways on the map already. Normally, an early Robo Bay, if you're watching a pro game, is an indicator that there's going to be a Colossus drop if you go Robo straight into Robo Bay. But with the additional gateways down, that seems less likely. Babylon just investing a little bit more into infrastructure earlier in the game. These gateways will not all be able to be utilized at their full capacity. And earlier I said 4 gateways. That was a misstatement. It is 5 gateways out for Babylon right now. Speedlings finally take down that pylon in the middle of the map as Babylon looks to take, as Heart looks to take a 4th base sometime. No Roach Warren yet for Heart. In fact, his lair tech just getting finished indicates he may be skipping Roach Warren entirely and just going for the double Evo chamber, 1-1 build. Maybe get a Spire down and go for Ling, Bane, Muta. Oh my gosh, and Counterfeit Penny has, you know what, let me add, just to be, I can't bear not being polite to people. I can't bear it. Counterfeit Penny. With 1,000 bits, please cast Hyper Turtles match next round. Counterfeit Penny, I am not in charge of which matches come up next round. The admins are actually going to tell me which matches to cover. They know these players a little bit better than I do, but I'm sure the admins have seen your donation, and they may try to help get Hyper Turtle onto the radar. We'll see how things go. So rather than Colossi this game, Babylon's going to go straight to Disruptors. The Colossi count last game was at 6, but of course they were overrun by the Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravager composition that Heart was running in the previous game. Not the best control we ever saw from our Protoss player, but if he did have a little bit better micro, those Colossi may have had a chance at making their way and getting some damage done. As it was, their lasers hardly fired after cleaning up the initial attack from Heart. Heart, again, going for +1/+1. That's +1 melee, not 1 +1 missile attacks, and getting some more roaches. So it does seem to be a similar build as last game. Although the timings are slightly different. The Scouting Phoenix, unfortunately, from Babylon not being controlled super well, will get taken out by that Queen. Won't see anything going down in the natural. Most importantly, not going to see that Infestation Pit. No Infestation Pit view, and of course no view on when that Hive starts from Heart, does mean that Babylon will be unprepared for any Tier 3 tech transitions that Heart goes for. 4th base, landing down for Heart right now. So Heart has seen a little bit of what's going on here, run by the 3rd Overlord path into the main and Overlord into the natural, and does know about the Robo, does know about the Robo Bay, in fact knows about both Robos and the Robo Bay, and wow, double Forge, double Pylon, and even more gateways coming down. This will be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 gateways for Babylon, a very strong bio army. As we said, all those gateways won't be able to fire all the time, but even though Babylon has an early 4th base down, the economy for Babylon is not quite robust enough to support constant warp-ins from those warp gates. So while there is good infrastructure there, he's not going to be able to fully utilize it over the course of this game. Obviously, it's a platinum level game. We can't expect GM level macro, but it does look like Babylon still in fairly decent shape. Our first few results starting to trickle in here from the round of 32. Orko over Zdens, Miko over Senpai, and James over Dompen. Observer speed coming out for, Warp Prism speed coming out for Babylon now. Gravitic Drive, those two icons look so similar. Oh, it is Observer speed. Oh my gosh, it's Gravitic Boosters. God, I can't tell those upgrades apart. They just look so damn similar. I wonder if that's the right upgrade. Babylon, obviously, with with 2 observers on the map, but it's not like he's up against lurkers or anything just yet. In fact, no Hydra Den at all. So, observer speed, an interesting choice, but maybe Heart just wants to try and get a little bit better vision on whatever is, or pardon me, Babylon wants to get a little bit better vision onto whatever Heart is up to. 2-2 again on the way for Heart here. He waited for 2-2 to finish last game until he went for an attack. We'll see if that's the case again here in game number 2. Remember, this is a single elimination bracket. Every single best of 3 will end with one player going home and the other player advancing. It is a high-stakes matchup, just like when the cows get into the marijuana patch. Very dangerous for both players. Still no Spire here, by the way. Kind of thought he was going Lingbane Muta, but just straight up to Hive Tech for the adrenal glands, I guess. Adrenal glands? You got the Hive. Heart a little short on gas, I guess. Just saturate up that 4th and he'll be just fine. Ultras. Yeah, going Lingbane Ultra yet again for Heart. Using those Roaches and Ravagers as a stopgap measure. This time, though, Heart is not going for the initial attack that crippled Babylon's economy. That was the biggest thing last game that Heart was able to do, was his initial attack cleared out 1, if you remember, 1 and 2 bases. Immediately for Babylon. Babylon was down to something like 30 workers. This game, however, both players on very healthy worker counts, which means that Babylon's army is going to stay competitive throughout the course of the game. 18 more Banes on the way. Oh god. Wow. That Disruptor just got the ideal Disruptor shot. You may not like it, but that's what peak Protoss performance looks like. That was insanely good. That was insanely good. Wow. Let's see. Good force fields here. Corrosive Biles. Nope. No Corrosive Biles being used here. Babylon just going to retreat. Of course, this mineral wall has not been eaten through yet by the drone, so there's really no vector of attack for Babylon. Holy Lime. Yes, I got some sleep last night. I went home. I stayed here at the office until about 5 o'clock, so for about 3 hours, doing some tournament admin work. And then, yeah, then I went home and slept from 5 to 9, and then went to bed again at about midnight. So I feel a lot better. I think I've been reset. Thank goodness. Ooh, mediocre force fields here. Allow the Banelings to get in a manual detonation. All the Disruptor balls getting onto the Banelings. Unfortunately, they're all clumped up in the same spot, and all the Disruptors now just cannon fodder for these Lings, Banes, Roaches, and Ravagers. Oh my, what a gross engagement there from our Protoss player. The Warp Prism gonna go down, which means no retreat, no recall at all here for our Protoss player Babylon, who couldn't quite make the most of his micro there. Had a fairly good army, but it looks like Heart's positioning and micro just a little bit better than his opponent, and now with 112 army supply to 17 for Babylon. It looks like Babylon may be our first player to get eliminated here in Platinum Heroes 7. Did he get? Never got Adrenal Glands. Come on, Heart. Well-timed Hive, early compared to the rest of your tech, and still no Adrenal Glands for your Lings. That's okay. He's got Ultralisks out. He's going for +3, and he's a little low on gas. Both players floating a fair amount of minerals right now, but hey, it's Platinum League or below. You never know how many minerals these guys are going to float. Wild. Wild. Let's go. Heart. Heart, now's your chance. What are you waiting for, buddy? In the words of that one, the theme song from that one movie about the girl who gets into a bad BDSM relationship that follows none of the real rules for BDSM relationships and glamorizes the entire BDSM community in a way that's been unhealthy for decades. What are you waiting for? Now he's finally going. Heart moving up to the 12 o'clock, and he's going to clear out both these cannons and both of the shield batteries. Overcharge going down, unfortunately, a little bit too premature. Banelings into the probe line here. 11 probes going down right away. One Disruptor Ball doesn't get the Banelings, gets on top of the Ultra here, and these Ultras going to provide a lot of covering fire for the Roaches and Ravagers behind here. Disruptor shots onto Ultras instead of the Roach Ravager. This does look like a defense here. Archon's a fairly nice shot, but of course, 17 Lings have gone down. One base has been cleared out, and Heart's still on 71 workers. Adrenal Glands finally starts. Rock and roll. +3 and +3 coming down now as well. He should be able to remuster his army fairly quickly. Both players floating an enormous amount of minerals right now, but that's okay. Again, Platinum Tournament, exactly kind of what you expect here. That's what we're here for. Big charge lot run by down here at the 6 o'clock, and oh boy. This is actually a really nice counterplay. Heart way out of position. These Zealots certainly going to get the base. I bet they can get a fair amount of drones too, as there's been no drone pull from Heart. Oh, they're going to waste their time on the Broodlings instead. Lings coming down to the south side to try and deal with these Zealots, and this is atrocious. Oh boy, Zealots finally getting caught here. 1, 2 of them sectioned out, the rest of them retreating back to the relative safety of this 5th base for Babylon. Babylon back up on 60 workers, still behind economically, but catching up little by little as his 5th base is up. Creep spread for Heart leaves a bit to be desired here at the 15-minute mark, but he's still got a pretty solid game ahead of him. A look at the units lost tab. You can see, of course, that our Zerg player playing slightly more efficient than his opponent, which is always good. Always good for the Zerg player. If you're playing more efficiently, that's always surprising. A couple more cannons coming down here. 3 cannons, 3 shield batteries, it looks like. But the Banelings from Heart are just waiting. The Banelings do have Baneling speed, so they'll be able to roll on into this base before the cannons finish. And whoa. Yeah, that's not good. Banelings just getting his individual probes here. Get it. Go to the Nexus. Go to the Nexus. What do you know? Another amazing disruptor shot here. These Banelings trying to go in. Let's see if the Banelings can go. Oh. Pull. Babylon. No. 30 probes going down in that attack. These charge lots, though, really making the most of it. Big engagement on the other side of the map right now. Disruptor balls onto the Ultras on the south flank here. The army supply is evened up, but of course the worker count not even at all. If Heart were to transition into something like Broodlords, he'd be in a great shape. Unfortunately, no Spire, no Greater Spire, just making Ultralisk, Ling, Bane all game long. Finally, the last of the Zealots will be taken down. 2, count them, 1, 2 hatcheries have been destroyed. Wow. These run-bys from Babylon are the only thing keeping him on life support this game. These Zealots basically doing chest compressions on the for the economy of Babylon, trying to slow down Heart's economy in any way he possibly can. Of course, he does know that he's significantly behind in workers, but by taking out base after base, by clearing drones after drones, he's actually doing a decent job of keeping himself in the fight. Heart's still way ahead, and I think clearly Heart looks like he's the stronger player in this series. Oh, the Hero Zealot, not enough to take out that hatchery. Hopefully we'll see a transfuse on that bad boy pretty quickly. I think, again, Heart looking like the superior player here. He is going to finally get a Spire down, maybe transition to something significant. But all Heart really needs to do is find one good fight, get some good Baneling shots off, and wow, straight Archon Disruptor right now for Babylon. Both these players very, very scary. Very scary. The Ultralisks sound like the footsteps in PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. Just gonna say, listen, if you listen closely. Here, I'll turn the music all the way up. Listen. Ultralisks, move. Move. Let's play your sound effect. Right? It definitely sounds like I'm about to get clobbered by some idiot with a barrel just outside of the hut that I'm currently crouching in, scared for my life. That's what it sounds like, for sure. Holy Lime, thoughts on wagering? Not today. I'll save wagers for the pro tournaments. Obviously, we don't know enough about Babylon or Heart to put reasonable wagers on them. But, yeah, we'll save the channel point wagers for another day. Finally, we got an assault here. It looks like the entire army of Heart going to be pulled, or for Babylon pulled apart, rather. That means there's nothing up north. Oh, God. There is absolutely nothing here to defend against this. 21 more probes go down. And this is getting ugly. Sure, Babylon's cleared out the army on the south side, but he's got no economy left. He's on 16 workers. So even if Heart trades hilariously inefficiently here, which it looks like he is going to, actually, these Archons going to form just an impenetrable wall and save it. Babylon has nothing back home, so Heart needs to transition to something that's not Mutalisks. Okay, he gets 4 Mutas out. Greater Spire on the way now, which does mean Broodlords, and Broodlords are objectively the right choice here. Just anything to create some distance between these Archons and Disruptors. Babylon, unfortunately, is not moving out right now. The only thing that could save Babylon's play would be a move out right now to destroy everything Heart has, the army supplies, in favor of our Protoss player. But if he doesn't get a lot done, he's going to continue to lose army, and Heart will win this one. Still a chance. Still a chance. A couple more Ultras on the way. That Greater Spire about halfway done. No Corruptors have been started yet for Heart, though. So if he's going for Broodlord, he's going to be a little slow here. And now the attacking army from Babylon is here. Heart can't engage with this, man. He's just got to try and buy himself a little bit of time. Heart going to these unimportant bases. Really, Heart should be deep diving into the natural, into the main, clearing out some of this tech. If he'd stop the Greater Spire from going down, that'd be a big win. Again, no Corruptors out for Heart, despite having the larva and the money and the tech for it. So we'll see that Greater Spire finish up. More Ultras still on the way for Heart, our Zerg player here, as Babylon sort of wanders around the middle of the map, trying to respond to a Ling run by. He brings his entire army back home. Oh, no. Oh, that's not what you want. Oh, God. Not only is he going to lose this Disruptor, look at that Disruptor Micro, by the way, that Ling Micro, saving the Lings from the Disruptor shot, only then to get destroyed by 15 Archons. Wow. There's a 16th Archon somewhere in this map. Is he trapped? Did I just miscount? Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's with the army now. He's in the army now. I mean, wow. What do you do? The answer is Broodlords is what you do. 5 Corruptors finally on the way here for Heart. He will need to be saving up his minerals for the Broodlords. He's got a couple ninja bases as well. Wouldn't hate to see him transferring some drones up to these bases that are unlikely to be spotted by Babylon. And Babylon's going to head and move on in. 5 Corruptors, 5 Broodlords will not be enough to fight this entire army here. Heart down to 37 drones due to the run-bys earlier. Babylon is going to grab one base and try and retreat here. The Mutas are an interesting choice. Yeah, they're just going to get tickled down to death. Banelings and Ultralisks coming in here. Corruptor's not part of the fight. Banelings getting on top of the Archons here. The Archons doing great work against the Ultralisks, though. These are 2-2 Archons. The drone's getting murdered, and more Corruptors coming out, but not a Broodlord to be seen. And it looks like Heart is going to throw away his chance of winning this game, and Babylon is going to bring us to game number 3. Wow. Spawning in the top right-hand side in the red. Representing the Protoss race and winning game number 2. Can he make the comeback? It is Babylon. And his opponent in the bottom left-hand side in the blue, our Zerg player. He is Heart. So it's Platinum Heroes, a tournament that I'm proud to say I've casted 2 or 3 times now. Cast with Platinum Heroes at the beginning of my career, and now they've graciously asked me to come back. And one thing that I always have to stress when I play Platinum Heroes, when I cast Platinum Heroes, is, again, that it's very exciting and very easy for us, I think. Let me start that over. It's very easy for all of us to look down on these players and, you know, talk about what a throw, what a terrible game, oh my god, that was awful, what was he thinking, what a mistake. And, you know, that's a little bit mean for starters. But also, there is a big difference between playing a ladder game and playing a broadcasted game in a tournament. And if you have not cast a tournament game, or had one of your games cast, it is a whole nother level of anxiety and anxiousness. That's the same thing. Anxiety and anxiousness are literally exactly the same thing. A whole new level of anxiety and pressure that you're not used to just playing your normal games. If you're not a professional, the thought is constantly running through your head. Am I doing well? What is he looking at? Are they paying attention? Did they see that mistake? And a lot of players in the Platinum Heroes League tend to play a little bit more conservatively when they're broadcast. So we'll see if that's the case. As both Hart goes for an earlier third base this game, by the way, than he's gone for before. Getting that down to about the 2.5 minute mark. That's about the fastest third base you can get as a Zerg player on the competitive level. And Babylon is going to go for Robo again. Ooh, a third gateway down instead. And there it is, gateway number 4. Babylon with 4 gates before any tier 2 tech. And it looks like with the first Adept out, he might just be going for a big Adept play. There are a couple builds that exist on the ladder for lower level players that are glaive Adept timings, or even non-glaive Adept timings. So timings that are just for Adepts with no glaives. As the Twilight Council goes down, though, it looks like this is going to be a 4-gate glaved Adept all in. That said, he is a Platinum player. This is not a GM level match. He may just be grabbing some extra gateways because he's nervous about getting an early gateway army. Who knows if he's well aware that this is like a strong gateway timing or something. Although with the addition of the Robo Bay and the Overlord in to see from Heart, Babylon should know, okay, I have been scouted out completely. There's no way I can just go for early pressure this game. I gotta transition out here. I can't just build Adepts. I can't just get glaive. Warp Gate Research about to finish up here. No pressure from either side yet again. Very passive early games. We do sometimes see in Platinum Heroes players who have mastered one strategy do really, really well. I believe it was Platinum Heroes 2, maybe, where we had one player who basically just cannon rushed and made it all the way, I think, to the finals with pure cannon rushes, just because he was so good at it, and they can be very difficult to deal with at low levels of play. Oh man, somewhere in Korea, Artosis is like having a bad dream right now. Wow. 2 pylons running the entire infrastructure of Babylon right now. Wow. Wow! Alright, so a couple Zealots coming in here, and it's going to be Charge first out of Babylon. So, despite the very early gateways, lots of gateways, by the way, staying on 2 base this game, almost for sure. Looks like we're just going to see Charge a lot of Mortal rather than an early Glaive Adept. So, despite getting 2 Adepts out early on, those clearly, I was going to say were just for scouting, but there hasn't been a whole lot of that either. So, maybe just a little nervous here. Heart going for the very oddly placed Macro Hatchery outside of his natural base and his third base again. With a 9 o'clock base up here, putting him on 4. 4 mining bases with that Macro Hatch. Again, in a unique spot here on Pillars of Gold LE. The 2 base aggression from Babylon looking to heat up, or hot up if you're British. 8 gates are out, the Warp Prism is here, and he's got all the different pieces of the puzzle that he needs. A couple extra pylons, and we are going to see Babylon moving out with a charge lot and 1 immortal play. 6 charge lots getting warped in here, and Hart has absolutely no idea this is coming. He has seen all of the gateways. Surely he should know there's early pressure coming, but right now he's just on Ling Roach, and those Lings are going to evaporate under 4,000 Zealots. Babylon showing his hand a little bit here. This Overlord getting a beautiful scout on the entire army. The Warp Prism for Babylon, unfortunately, oh man, the Warp Prism from Babylon not in his control group with the rest of the army. Going to be a little bit behind. Will be forced to warp in this next round of Zealots, probably once the attack starts. We do see 6 more Roaches, 2 Ravagers on the way now from Hart, but Babylon getting in here with a big army of Zealots. Now, the army supply is in favor of Hart, but don't let that fool you. Army supply for Zerg includes Queens, and of course, Roaches and Ravagers are very heavy in the army supply tab. So once the rest of these charge lots get here, I imagine we're going to see a very robust attack from Babylon. Dodges those corrosive biles. The corrosive biles placed a little bit behind the army, rather. And ooh, all that charge being expended on those charge lots. That's actually not great here. The Ling's going to be a nice barrier for the Roaches. Roach Ravager in the backside here. Hart may have just enough to drive this away, but now the Zealots have closed the gap. And with the additional, the Warp Prism could move up here probably and warp in Zealots up onto the high ground if you want to do. Babylon going to retreat very briefly. All of his army very badly wounded, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the Zealots onto creep. Now, come on, let's drive to the hatchery around the corner. The Roaches want to take you out in shot. But you don't want to get biled. I don't know. I lost it there at the end. Still 2 base. Still 2 base aggression. Still 2 base aggression from Babylon. He's going for a Robo Bay now to sort of transition into some disruptors. I guess to go Blink Stalker Disruptor, or maybe just add on Colossi. Again, not the, oh, hang on, guys. Sorry. I forgot to turn my, streamer mode on for my Discord. There we go. Sorry about that. Taste Flaced, welcome to the stream. Glad you're enjoying Platinum Heroes 7. I, of course, am just the dumb caster. There is a Discord for the Platinum Heroes. I'm sure that the, I'll add that command to my Discord here in just a moment, but I'm sure the admins will be happy to link you if you're interested in joining the Platinum Heroes community. You can go check them out on Discord. They are super cool, and I'll tell you all about them after this attack happens. Here we go, a little surround onto the Stalker there. The Zealot goes down as well. This 3rd base should get canceled right away. That's a kill on the shield battery and a kill on the Nexus also. Not a cancel. Oh, no. The Zealots are going to get nailed to the wall by those Banelings, and unfortunately, Mass Zealot does not do particularly well in the mid or late game. The Warp Prism does manage to save both Immortals, but where, oh where, can he drop them? Corrosive Biles raining like drops of water from the sky on Alanis Morissette's wedding day. One good Disruptor shot there is going to go out, but it won't be enough to clear out the entire attacking army here of Hart. And Babylon, though showing a flash of brilliance in game number 2, is not going to be able to clear this out in game number 3. It does look like that's going to be it. GG, and Hart, our Zerg player, will take the series 2-1.